I used to be afraid of so much in this world. I'd tiptoe through each day like some frightened little girl. Then one day I realized I can't just run and hide from life. Now if someone pulls a gun on me, I pull out my knife.
I don't follow. Sit on my lap like I'm Santa and listen to me.
Face your fears, stare them down. Don't be scared, stand your ground. 'Cause nothing is that scary as it appears. All you gotta do is face your fears.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
If a bear runs at you in the woods, don't run away.
Yeah, I'm back here. Sing to me.
Look it deep in the eyes, put your hand on its chest and say, "Bear, I'm not afraid."
Well, that's just dangerous.
If you're in a burning building and smoke is everywhere, keep calm, take a deep breath, and stay right there.
That's not how smoke or fire works.
Face your fears, run with scissors.
Whoa.
'Cause you can fly, yes you can fly. Fly out of a window.
Who are you singing to?
Fly off a building, just believe in yourself. Face your fears.
Okay, I have so many
'Cause
problems.
the children are the future. Face your fears.
Oh my God.
Follow your dreams. Stare at the sun. Play in the street. If you're scared of bees, it's time to reach for the stars. Face your fears.
Hey, everything is speeding on my end. I love to record my friends. I love to have blackmail of them. I love to get incriminating statements on tape. I love to cancel them. I love to. I ransom a fucking cancellation of my friends. It's like, hey, before I told you we were recording, you said some pretty interesting stuff. Interesting.
Can we make that your theme song for this particular podcast series? I really liked that.
My cancellation song.
Yeah.
Cancellation song is all I ever had. It's good. If you want to be my friend, then you're gonna have to get canceled. Yeah, if you want to be my friend, you're gonna have to get canceled. My friends don't say stuff that's cool. My friends don't say stuff that rules. My friends all say shitty things. My friends all eat chicken wings. No vegans allowed. Only meat for now. No. Here we go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Here we go. Get out our little things. That's how we get canceled. Publicly exposing ourselves at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you like my song?
I do like your song.
Thank
Bad
you.
Takes Only here.
Bad takes only. I have never. Hey, everyone can look across my entire audio record. Never along the line have I said my opinions were good. Never along the way did I say I'm correct. Never.
I would like to microdose being canceled so that when I'm actually famous, I'm used to it.
I'd like to get a little canceled down before I have a platform so that I can handle bigger doses of cancellation in the future.
Exactly. I used to train myself in other ways to be famous. Like in high school, I would walk around and I'd be like, oh, this is the last time I'm going to have a quiet moment to myself without being recognized. I'd walk through the hallway if it was abandoned and I'd be like, I need to soak this all up. I need to soak this in. These quiet moments without eyes on me. Like,
because
this is one of the last times
immediately
I
after
can-
this, I will
Because-
be famous.
Well, I was supposed to be famous when I moved to LA. Like, I got into school in LA, and I was like, but I got in January, and I'm moving in September. So, like, I'm not even gonna get to January before Disney Channel's calling me.
Did
Like,
you practice?
I was ready.
Did you practice your mouse? Did you practice your on Disney
Oh,
Channel?
of course.
Okay.
Any sparkler, any glow stick, like,
Yeah.
anytime I had something phallic in my hand, it was like only on Disney Channel.
You're watching Disney Channel. Up next, Mousewife. About what if a soccer mom turned into a mouse? Mousewife.
And you're watching Ba-ba-ba-ba.
What was that?
That was the theme song.
Uh,
Do, do, do.
Oh, I didn't get that. I didn't have Disney Channel. I'm really just like accumulating pieces through cultural osmosis, and I didn't get as far. I've only seen it written. I've never.
You're like the machine. You're machine learning what Disney Channel is through others. You're like, okay, is that a car? Is that a car? Is that a car?
Yeah, I.
Did you know what those are for?
I fail the Disney Channel.
Recaptcha.
I fail the captcha of Disney Channel. Which of these are DComs and which of them are just other shitty movies? I'm like, did the Olsen twins ever have a DCom? Fuck, shit, god damn it. And I don't get to read my email or whatever.
Yeah, my friend works in machine learning at Adobe.
Wow.
And he was the one who revealed to me what the fuck those are for, which I didn't know. It's to train self-driving cars and self-driving vehicles to be able to identify road things. That's why it's not just like, are you a robot? It's like a dual reasoned thing. It's like that information goes back to machine learning.
Sounds like I'm doing some free labor for some companies.
You are in fact doing free labor just to get your fucking password, just to get access to your silly little platforms. You are teaching a car to drive, and that's either cute or terrifying.
And like so many things, it is both.
Like in a Cars universe, that's kind of cute, You're
Sure.
kind of like helping a toddler learn, but in a Ex Machina universe, less cute.
Yeah, in an Ex Machina, although that robot was cute in Ex Machina. That was a cute robot, I gotta say.
Cute in a different way, not like in a Wall-E way.
No, not in a
dateable way.
Wall-E way, but in a has Alicia Vikander's face sort of way. In a way that like is played by a very attractive actor. That kind of way.
Yeah. Who would play you in the biopic of Vern's life? Because you get to be the
life.
Yeah, so Kevin, for our listeners, Kevin has a really cool bearded friend, like a whimsical bearded funny friend who lives in, I think, the Pacific Northwest with his wife, or in Salt Lake City now.
Salt Lake City now. That's right. Let's dox my whimsical bearded friend. His bank password is.
Well, you got to recaptcha first, but he
Fuck. God damn.
lives.
Which of these? Mouse House? What the fuck is that? Is that a decom? Luck of the Irish? Was that one, or was that just a shitty movie? Like I can't tell.
Oh, Luck of the Irish definitely was.
Okay.
Back
Double
to Vern.
trouble.
In
Yes,
Vern's
back to Vern.
biopic, when you get to play the quirky best friend,
Love that.
who plays you in that biopic?
It's a good question. And I'm going to take the linearity of time out of this, because obviously it would have to be played by someone who's currently younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we would have to, like, step back. So if we take... If this is being assembled from all of space and time, maybe Greg Sestero from The Room, I think would play a good me. I think that's a good choice. Obviously, there is 70s Mark Hamill, obviously, which I was told many times before I had a beard that I looked like. So those are both good. Those are both good options, I think. If Mark is if Mark is tech avail but he can't make it, we call Greg Sestero from the depths of time.
Okay.
What about you?
Cool.
You're also in this.
Yeah. I'm non-binary. Who are some fun? There's only a few of us like out in Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe Kristen Stewart would come out by playing me, which would be cool.
For sure.
But she's a little too famous now. She has always been, but now she's like.
I mean, we're pulling. You know, we're working with the implication that like the Vern Tooley biopic is big business. You know,
I'm sorry. I know who. It's obviously Scarlett Johansson. It's always Scarlett. I'm trans. Of course.
Of
it's
course.
Scarlett
Of
Johansson.
course. My favorite trans woman, Scarlett Johansson.
Trans man, trans woman,
Asian woman, tree.
The wind blows.
She can really play anything. What I've always been bowled over.
She knows
by Scarlett Johansson
feels,
is her range.
She feels like she can play anything, and therefore she can.
Who are we to stop her? Truly, who are we to stop her?
We can't.
I can't.
I bet she doesn't ever have to do a reCAPTCHA when she logs into things.
They're like, no, we know you're Scarlett Johansson. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people look like you. We know. It's okay. When she never has to second guess Face ID, they're like, oh, that's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The chameleon and the most recognizable at the same time.
That's right. Our greatest actor and the most recognizable person on the face of the earth. We hate a chameleon, don't we, folks? And but this is welcome back to Crazy X Pod Friends, the show where myself and my co-host will monthly work our way through the CW's greatest television effort, Crazy X Girlfriend. Now, questions about the title. We are not ex-friends. We just used to have a podcast. We still do, but we used to too, you know? We still do.
I love if we had a riff and like we still did this and we're like, we are ex-friends, but we're professionals.
But we're in it for the money. I mean, I've seen various instances of like married couples doing a podcast. They have to split up for one reason or another, and they still keep doing the podcast because it's such a significant portion of their income. And to me,
That is so funny.
To me, that's hell on earth. To me, the idea of currently at this moment doing a podcast with any of my exes is no, that's not a. I hate that proposition. Do not proposition me.
I'm on like a 6-month cycle right now where I'm up to my like 6 to 9 months ago ex where I could do a podcast with them, but my 3 months ago ex has not reached out yet. So
okay, but so you got 3 months. So you know
but
in July, then's your time. You can jump on that.
yeah, if I've heard from them, then that's my window. But my ex is your pod friend.
Yes.
And you can plug that right here, right now, in insert.
Advanced Media Studies. My co-host, Jace, who has not been on the show in a little bit because they are in rehearsals. But
oh my God, yeah.
But they are my friend, and we are not, in fact, exes.
But we are.
Yeah, but fun, right? Isn't it? This is such a dishy little gossipy little podcast we've created.
I like it. I mean, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend I think is perfect for just like little spicy
for hot
ex-lover.
Yes.
Yeah, hot gossip.
For relationship turmoil to talk about.
Also, I'm gonna air some of Jace's laundry for funsies too. It's also adds sort of like a multiverse. Jace is flirting with like a influencer, like a TikTok influencer right now, who I feel like is like a more successful, hotter version of me, and that's like all I could ask for, you know? Like,
all
good
I
for
can
them.
ask in a breakup is that my ex decides to trade up to a better version of me. That's all I want
go
for them.
upgrade. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, go. Like, then I've done my
Yeah.
duty here on this
my
earth.
my ego is such that I do want you to still be into me, but I want you to be into a better, more well-developed version of me.
Like, I want to be the, like, budget version of your, like,
I want
upgraded iPhone.
I want to be great value brand nacho chips over your flavor blasted Doritos. I want to be,
but at least I got you hooked on chips.
yeah,
you know?
I want to be Dr. Thunder to your Mountain Dew. That's what I want, and if I can achieve that, then that's great, and we've done our jobs.
Yeah, I just want to be, like, sort of a vessel, a passageway,
Yeah.
sort of like, I brought you here, and now fly, bird.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm on the dating apps right now, which is actually relevant to the episodes that we're going to talk about here. On the dating apps, I'm swiping right, sometimes left. So if anyone would like to assassinate me, that would be great. I would really love to be assassinated. That'd be awesome.
So do you have to be elected a political position?
It does have
first?
to be for
Do we have
political
to
gain.
Make you
Yeah.
a mayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Time for. Hey, Eric Adams, I'm coming for you, buddy. I'm fucking coming for that
Just
throne.
so you can be assassinated.
If you fucking come for the throne, you better bring a powerful ass, and my ass is indeed powerful. I have a famous
Speaking
ass.
of assassins, did you see that Charles
Hello.
Hinckley is doing an acoustic performance?
Yes, John Hinckley, who was like looking for band
John.
members the other day, he posted his like P.O. box, and I have definitely considered like sending John Hinckley a letter, not to join his band, but just to be like, hey, I have a camera and a microphone. Do you just want to like sit down and just like we'll do a documentary, bud?
You should be his videographer.
Yes.
Also,
I come with no agenda. I just want to hang. I just want to hang out.
I pitched an undergrad. I was like, let's pretend that in the Ryan Murphy murder cult, I get to be an artistic director for some reason, and
Great.
I get to cast the next American true crime story. And I pitched like 4 different projects. I pitched a really good Jordan Peele one. I pitched but they were all based on different mass media public trials. And so the Hinckley one was one of them with Jodie Foster. And I think I picked some excellent casting back in 2018. I chose Joaquin Phoenix and Dakota Fanning to play young Jodie Foster.
That's not bad. That's not bad
Yeah.
at all.
And
Yeah.
I know. I should probably go to him and be like, hey, do you want to sell this to Netflix? Let's get in on this.
Yeah, let's make it happen, American Crime Story. Dakota is a little too old now to play 15, but there are options. There are children out there.
She wasn't 15, though, when he was stalking her. She was at Yale. She was like...
She was
19,
at, okay, so like
19.
18, 19. I don't know if you've seen Dakota Fanning recently. I do think we've maybe crossed that Rubicon. Okay. You disagree.
Remember, Jade and I, my other ex, Jade and I were in a Sky Lounge, and this drunk man came up to us and bought us macaroons and started flirting aggressively with Jade and was like, where are you going? And we're like, we're going to Ireland. And he was like, oh, are you going to drink Guinness there? And I was like, I'm sober. And then he was giving us all this attention, and Dakota Fanning was like right next to us wearing all white in Louis Vuitton. He didn't give her the time of day.
Wow, that's got to make you feel good to the point where you're still telling that story.
But it also, I was more just kind of anxious that she was wearing all white at an airport. I was like, so much could happen here.
Yeah. I could never wear all white. I just don't believe I will ever live the type of life where I could wear all white clothes. I just don't think that's possible for me.
That's probably for the best, having seen Get Out. So this episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I come from dirt. I come from dirt people. And I come from a dirty folk, and I can't wear all white. But yes, Kat, podcast with me. My friend just podcast with me. That's it. That's the only.
Yeah.
I did a full song earlier. You're not gonna get a second song.
Okay.
I don't know if we're establishing
And-
precedent that I do parodies of the songs from this television show, and maybe it's time to just put that out to pasture. Fucking Miller's Crossing, John Turturro in the Woods, maybe like Maybe it's time to just, like, put it down, you know what I mean?
I want to hear that, though. I want to hear you free associate to the melody of every song in this series.
Every song. I was going to do, like, one an episode, but I already sang at the top of the show about being canceled, if you recall.
Yep. I liked that one.
All right, I'll say you get one song per episode. It might be a pastiche of a song from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, or it might just be free associated dribble.
Just stuff that comes from the soul.
Might just be gobbledygook. Perfect.
So this episode opens with, I can't remember.
Yes, let's
refresh my memory.
This episode opens with something. We are, of course, talking about Season 1, Episode 3, I Hope Josh Comes to My Party. Directed by Tamra Davis. Written by Rachel Bloom and Aline Brosh McKenna. When Josh's girlfriend is out of town, Rebecca decides to throw a big party, but she doesn't know a lot of people in West Covina, so it's pretty sparsely attended until Paula recruits a bunch of gambling addicts to attend. First introduction of beloved character Heather, finally showing up on the show.
Yes!
We're getting the full enmeshed cast here. First appearance of grocery clerk with half an eyelid that we love. He has a name later. I want to say Brendan, and it's good times. Songs include "Face Your Fears" as sung by Paula, and "I Have Friends" as sung by Rebecca and young Rebecca, and a boy band made up of 4 Joshes, sung by Josh. These are fun. Maybe it's because I can't dance. Much like the movie Cats, Cats Don't Dance. I can't dance. Not really.
What about Corbin Bleu in High School Musical 2? Can you not dance the way that he couldn't dance?
I don't know what you're talking about. See back to our previous conversation where I did not have the Disney Channel.
So Corbin Bleu has a whole number in High School Musical 2. Where he arguably is flirting with the twink, the other gay of the
other gay
of the movie,
Ryan.
But it's never, well done.
Thank you.
And
he spoke at my arts camp.
They were playing baseball.
Okay.
And Corbin Blue's like, I don't dance, and Ryan's like, I know you can. And then Corbin Blue's like, not a chance. No. And then they break into song and dance about how Corbin Bleu can't dance. And he is really good at it. He also had danced a lot in the first musical. And it's a really fun, confusing little number for a child brain. You're like, aren't you dancing right now?
Aren't you?
That's the fun of it.
I don't understand dramatic irony. I don't understand juxtaposition. I am a child. I'm watching High School Musical 2. I don't understand juxtaposition. And you got very upset. Yes, but maybe it's because I can't dance. I can do a little, like a little high school theater level box step, which was about as as far as we got in my particular high school theater program. But I say this only because I think Vincent Rodriguez III plays Joshua Felix Chan is a wonderful dancer. He's a great dancer, and we haven't yet gotten to the numbers where he really gets to show that off. But because I'm not a dancer, anyone doing any amount of choreo, I'm like, whoa, oh my god, whoa, and you're doing it 4 times in 4 different outfits. How do you do that? How did you do that?
Yeah.
Because I'm a dummy. I'm a Philistine. I'm a dancing fucking Philistine.
I love a boy band, and I love a boy band. And I love the lyrics of Face Your Fears.
Hilarious. And great. Paula's finally getting a song. We're finally getting songs from the rest of the cast, because up until this point, it really has just been Rebecca with the one sort of Valencia exception. But now it's like, oh, Paula gets her own showcase song. Oh, Josh is getting her own showcase song. In the next episode, it's Greg's time. It's Greg's turn.
Yeah. This is when we figure out, like, oh, everyone on the series can probably sing.
Yeah, I believe there was, if I remember, interviews I read 5 to 7 years ago well enough, I believe there was a version of the original conception of this show where only Rebecca really sang. Which is interesting considering the rest of the cast is Donalyn Champlin, Santino Fontana. You know, like, they did get other people with pipes. But I believe there was a version of this where only the musical numbers were worked in such a way and on such a logic that only Rebecca really got to have them.
Oh, I kind of get that because she's supposed to be exploring being, like, quirky mental illness. And so it would make sense that she's the only one that has these, like, musical breaks in her brain.
Yeah.
So I do get the original pitch. I do think it's stronger or it's more fun to do it the way that it is done with all of these other performances. I'm engaged this way, but I did like I have friends. I definitely have friends.
Yeah. Friends, friendly friends.
Reminded me
Time to
a
meet
lot-
my friends.
It reminded me a lot of the video that brought me to her originally.
I Steal Pets from the Popular People.
Yeah. I remember watching that one summer, the same summer that Rebecca Black's Friday was popular.
Wow.
I remember.
Big summer
Yeah.
for people named Rebecca.
Yeah.
I guess her
I remember
real name
watching
is
that
Rachel.
YouTube video.
But
I know, that's why I didn't say it, because I was like, I always get confused which one's her real name.
yeah, absolutely. They did decide to give her the same initials, and it is confusing, and I will mess it up from time to time. But I refer to the actors and the characters interchangeably sometimes. You know, just like, oh, Greg's really good in this scene, and it's like, well, Greg is not the actor. Greg is not the man. Greg is a fictional being who works at a fictional bar. But I love, you know, when Rebecca comes in, invites him to the party, they have a classic Sam and Diane back and forth repartee, and I just continue to love Greg. There's something about his misery that speaks to my very soul. Just, he understands me in a way that I can't articulate. I don't understand, but I love him.
I get it. I remember really loving him when first watching the show and being straight and an active alcoholic. I was like, why do I identify with Greg so much? And now being a transmasculine person and 5 years sober, I'm like, oh, that's why.
That's why.
And I didn't notice it the first watch until I remember when they were like, yeah, he's an alcoholic. I was like,
What?
yeah, where was that plot?
And then
now,
they
like,
flash back,
episode
like,
3.
It's very funny when they're like, he's an alcoholic, and they go, what? And they flash back to like 5 different scenes of him being an alcoholic that have happened over the course of the show, including this one where he says like, I don't leave the party while there's still whiskey or something. You're like, whoa.
Okay, what did you think of that moment though? Like, what was he do? He was just like lurking on the stairs.
I think he
like,
wasn't really sort of like, he was at the stage of drunkenness, in my opinion, where it's like, he just kind of sat down and never got back up. Do you know what I mean? Like, he planted himself and had difficulty. I didn't read it in a creepy way, but I have never been a woman, so I do not know. You know, like, you read things differently, right?
Yes.
There are moments when I'm watching the original Gossip Girl, and I'm like, this show had a lot of male writers for various scenes that have occurred over the course of that show, and I'm like, you maybe didn't understand the full implications of what was happening. you maybe tried to mine some shit for juicy gossip that you know, were a little uncomfortable to certain people in your audience. That's all.
Yes. Yes, Greg, and he's drunk here. I also, the next, like, iteration of this, which I think is the next step, I think it's episode 4, where it's positioned that he and Rebecca are a healthy match. And, like, while watching it, I'm like, I think he thinks they're a healthy match.
Sure.
But I actually don't think this is a healthy pairing. But I think it's interesting that we as viewers are supposed to be like, yeah, maybe.
This is sensible. These two crazy kids, they just make sense together.
Which, no. I would argue, no.
Yeah, it's a little... I mean, this show is replete with unhealthy relationships, and I think especially going forward, they're very aware of that and will mind that for it was something we were talking about a little bit in the first episode, where it's like Josh seems like a really, like, you know, healthy, nice, kind person, right? Like Josh seems from the outside like, oh, this is like the ideal man. And don't get me wrong, but there are things about him that are secretly insidious, even unconsciously, and need to be fixed and need to be rectified for him to be like a proper romantic partner to someone else, you know?
Yeah, I think what I like about him is he is kind of like frozen in time from his high school self or his like middle school, like his maturity and his interests and everything is just sort of like if somebody just sort of kind of coasted through 10-15 years of their life and ended up, and it does remind me of people who kind of grow up in like our small town background settings and hang out with the same friends from high school and keep the same job and kind of do the same thing.
Hang out in the same place, just remain in this state of suspended animation. You know, like they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think he's a good boy-child part where, like, she is idealizing him as this amazing person, but it's, like, the amazing person from her childhood who has not changed into an adult human person.
Yeah.
I really, like, he just wants to eat poke and hang out with Tech, and that's fine.
And, you know, that's a perfectly chill way to exist, but, you know, is it right for him? I don't know. I guess I can't make that call at this time. But yeah, and we talked about it briefly, but I think it should be mentioned that Face Your Fears as the first like true Paula number is really like, it's stellar. It's funny. It uses like Donna Lynn Champlin's like incredibly impressive vocal range that she can like really hit these belting notes, and she can go low, she can go high, and it just plays perfectly to her strengths and her comedic strengths. She's a funny gal. She's a funny lady. She
is. I also like the repercussions of her son being like, I followed your advice. I thought that was a great callback. I also don't love the way that there's like quite a few things that like, actually there were quite a few things in this episode that I'm like, this doesn't age. This kind of is giving Lena Dunham vibes in terms of like not quite aging well.
Can you recall
like
any
the way
specific,
that yeah, the way that it was like, I have friends, and like the reason that the friends were
bad or because they have like physical deformities, right?
Yeah, and then also the kid, like Paula's kid, is positioned as stupid because, and then they list a bunch of things, and I'm like, I have all those things. I have all those things. I just like to think of myself as a stacked deck in the DSM-5, but I don't think of myself as...
I like to think of a DSM 3 out of 5, thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, I do think I'm stupid all the time, but I don't think I would be written as I'm, like, stupid TM, like capital S stupid, like that's not my identifier. I think like day to day, sometimes I think I'm kind of stupid, but I'm not stupid because of these things. Like, I don't know. It was just a very dated look at.
I agree.
And then it kind of also did be like, oh, that kind of makes sense that I felt that way about myself because this was what media was saying at the time, and I forgot.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think this is one of several things, and we listed some last time, and I'm sure we will continue to list them, that as the show goes on, their portrayal of becomes much more even-handed, much, less cancelable. Because they progress in many ways. In regards to certain things, I think the show also ends up going to a lot of like homeless people kind of jokes that are a little like, they're a little hacky, they're a little easy. But the Paula's son, the progression of Paula's sons is to me legitimately interesting, even though they are not in a great number of episodes across the next 4 seasons. But like the point we come to at the end of the show is a very different position than when we meet Paula's sons, you know?
I do like the way that the sons are advocated for in this episode, but I don't like the way that it's like, well, this kid's dumb. I also don't remember what happens to the kids throughout the series. So
that's okay. You'll find out. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
You'll find out over the course of several years as we talk about this show. Unless, of course, people start giving us lots of money to make it more frequently, in which case I would happily do that. I would gladly make it more frequently.
Yeah, like once people started throwing money at Hamill Minute, I mean, we were just like whipping that shit out.
We were booking it out. We were busting it through. Yeah, and well, this is out from behind the paywall, you know, but you do get it a week early at patreon.com/TPsKevin. That is something that you get that will help those long months between episodes. And that's the way to do it for just $1 a month. Anyway, the first episode hasn't even dropped by the time we're recording this one, so for all I know, I received a $1 million check the day after that episode came out. And
by a biblically accurate angel donor.
Absolutely. Yes, my seraphim has finally come. Perfect. Let's move on to the second episode then. Season 1, episode 4. I'm going on a date with Josh's friend. Directed
did
by
we skip the Josh
boy band made up of 4 Joshes? It kind of,
I just liked it.
yeah, it's a fun number. It's fun to watch one man harmonize with himself 4 ways. It's fun.
Very a cappella era vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very rockapella or pentatonics or just any of those crimes against humanity. And but no, it's fun. It's fun watching Josh like come in and spruce up the party. It's interesting seeing how helpful he is. Like you do get why Rebecca, I mean, obviously Rebecca is like imprinting on him in a lot of ways, but you're like, no, I do get what is very appealing about this gentleman.
Like a duck.
Yeah.
Like a duck or like a werewolf.
Yep, the two things, right? There's 2 kinds of people you can date, a duck or a werewolf, and they'll both imprint on you.
Oh, I need to text my therapist back. She said she watched all of the Twilight series while she had COVID.
Oh, wow.
Which
yeah.
I think that's a great self-disclosure. I think that is the little treat I needed for the week.
Absolutely.
And she knows that.
That's so kind of your therapist to open up like that about their about their mistakes, about their insecurities. Makes you feel less alone.
Amazing.
But yeah, season 1, episode 4. I'm going on a date with Josh's friend. Directed by Stuart McDonald. Written by Aaron Ehrlich. In this episode, Greg and Rebecca go on a date to a taco festival, and it goes about as well as you might expect. Also, Josh is looking to apply for a job at Aloha Tech, which is a sick, low-key little tech operation run by UCB favorite Eugene Cordero. Rebecca ends up hooking up with a random guacamole smith, maker of guacamole, and Greg is kind of understandably a little upset about it, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
I get it. Like, guacamole's my favorite thing too.
It's pretty tasty. And if a handsome man made you some really tasty guacamole and watched you house a pork taco and was like not put off by it, then yeah, I say go for it. That's fate.
What was that moment for you? Was that the 2 wolves that live within you?
What was? What? What?
The pork taco moment. What was that for you? Was it there are 2 wolves within me? Do you know the proverb?
I inside of every man there are 2 wolves. I don't understand what that does, how that relates to the pork taco. I don't understand.
Because she was going back and forth between like healthy choice, pork taco, healthy choice, pork taco. And it was like intercut back and forth.
Oh, okay. Honestly, my pork taco is often a pork taco. Like, honestly, my pork taco is often a quesadilla al pastor or a torta al pastor. I have a lot of al pastor. There's a great Mexican food cart in my neighborhood, and they whip up a delish al pastor.
I also liked the bicoastal shout out where they were like, Echo Park, the Brooklyn of LA. And I was like, exactly.
Hey, you get it. Yeah. I love when things set in New York and Los Angeles get really in detail about various locations about New York and Los Angeles.
Bicoastal visibility. It's so important to be represented in media.
Important. I'm biphobic. I don't want them to acknowledge the coasts.
Yet, you're in one.
I know. Don't tell me.
You're in a coastal relationship right now.
Don't
and
talk
you won't
about
acknowledge.
it. Don't talk about it. No, my family can't know I'm in a coastal relationship. If my mother found out I was bicoastal, she would disown me.
Where does she think you've been living this whole time?
Cincinnati, the New York of the Midwest. And I know, oh boy, I can feel people sliding into my DMs saying, Ohio's not in the Midwest. Shut up. Yes, it is. Where else would it be?
For sure.
Shut up.
It is. I think Ohio is like capital and Midwest. Like, I think about.
I would agree, but
people
from Ohio and Indiana get really fucking finicky about that. They're very perturbed about it.
It's so funny because they're like the most identifiable Midwest. Like, what other states are like considered Midwest, not considered West or South?
I mean, Missouri,
like
Kansas, Illinois, North Dakota, South Dakota, Maryland, Monroe.
People have a difficult time classifying those, I think. What would you classify Montana and Nebraska as?
That is the North, but not the Pacific Northwest. It'd be the Northwest, but it's not the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I just call...
And then Arkansas is south for sure. Iowa's a strong contender. Between Ohio and Iowa, I can see why Iowa would think they're the most Midwest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what else has Iowa got going? You know what I mean? What's their other claim to fame? If it's not the capital of the Midwest.
I visited their Max prison once.
Okay. From the inside.
Nice. It looked kind of like a nice museum instead of a Max prison.
Sure.
But they had done renovations recently.
I see. I really want my prisons to look nice. I want the one thing I want reformed about the American carceral system is I want it to look more visually pleasant.
Yeah, not reformed, renovated maybe.
Yeah, right. Not reformed. I'm going to renovate. It's like when not to get all bi-coastal, but when they renovate the subway and you're like, great, what are they cleaning it up? Are they fixing the broken tiles? And they're like, we installed some art. And I'm like, my dog, this was not the issue.
Oh my God. I have fantasies all the time of like getting a power washer and just like power blasting the subways. Oh, I think about it a lot.
Yeah, blast it. I want you to get a power washer, and I want it to be so powerful that you're kind of like flying in the air, just like going backwards across all the subway platforms.
Totally. Or I want sort of like a Ghostbusters vibe.
Absolutely. Yeah, but like Ghostbusters 2016, where like Melissa McCarthy's like flying around, you know?
Damn, that was a long time ago.
That was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Was when they rebooted Ghostbusters.
What were the songs in episode 4 of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Why the songs featured in this episode would include Sex with a Stranger, Settle for Me, and Settle for Him.
Okay. At the time,
Uh-huh.
I had a reputation for, like, doing...
For, hey, sexy stranger, come back to my place and please don't be a murderer?
Yes, and I had a very specific relationship to the song Partition by Beyonce. So I enjoyed that this song was like a very close one-to-one of the music video of Partition.
Gotcha. I did not recognize that, but I was sure that there were some references that I was missing. Obviously, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend will do a full-ass, like, Lemonade number later on in its run, like a big lavish sort of Lemonade number, but for now, this is the Beyonce that you have to that you have to live with. These morsels.
Yeah, so
these
this was
crumbs.
Partition. They had a couple references with like vignettes and like the getup and also the beat. There was like a similar melodic choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though the song from this episode that will become a signature song for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is, of course, Settled for Me, as sung by Santino Fontana, which, I gotta say, just a completely delightful number. You know me. You know I love a soft shoe. You know
You do.
You know I love a soft shoe.
You do.
And
I kind of zone out. I'm like, yeah, the artist saw that movie, and then I float away, and then I come back at the end.
It's
like,
not,
yeah, that's black and white.
Yeah,
that's black and white, and he's singing, and he was in Frozen, and I know this format, and I go away, and then I come back when the black and white is over.
Wow. No, I like it. I find it delightful. I find it...
It is delightful.
It's wonderful.
Just in a way that you find, like, long-winded war stories by old people delightful.
It's like...
You can't always track it,
Yeah.
but it's pleasant.
It's like the appeal of so many old movies, so many old musicals, so many old westerns, where you can kind of zone out for a while and zone back in, and you won't have missed anything. You're in the armchair and you're like, what's on TCM? Great. And you kind of like, you can zone out, you can look at your phone, you can take a nap, you can wake back up, and you're like, I still fully understand what's happening. I don't feel like this is so easy to follow. It's great. I love it. Oh, whatever. Yeah. I'm a sucker for this one. This is one of my faves. Maybe of the whole show. I don't know. It's so emotionally attached to me. I imprinted on this, much like, again, a duck or a werewolf. It's the song of my soul. And again, as I'm on the app,
it's the song of your people.
The song of my people. Even though, like, I don't fucking look like Santino Fontana. Like, how dare he sing this song? He's not of my people. He's a handsome fucking paisano. Okay?
What? I think you're more attractive than Santino by a large margin.
I disagree.
But is that just my queer eye?
Santino's such a queer eye for the straight guy. I'm not straight. You
heard it here.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I don't know, but like he's such a fucking handsome paisano. Come back to me when you're a Scotch-Irish mess like me. You know, come back when you fucking have my face. God damn it. Come back to talk about settling.
I disagree, and I will not hit on you on our X-Pod
Thank you.
podcast.
It's illegal.
Podcast. But I think you two would be really solid in... Nope, actually, he's canceled because of his current Broadway.
Because of Tootsie. I'm sorry. So, hey.
But everyone's got a microdose being canceled just a little bit.
Exactly.
So.
And I do think, I'm not disparaging the theater community. However, I do think that outside of the theater community, nobody knows about this cancellation. This has not crossed platforms. This is
Does he exist outside of the theater community, though?
I mean, really, here, and I guess, your local Frozen stan, although it's weird because he's like a voice, he's not like on screen in Frozen singing Love is an Open Door. Or
do you think he got like all of the fucking royalties for how Frozen blew up, or do you think what they thought they were gonna make with that movie, he got like that contract and it never, like, what do you think happened?
I do think that, I mean, obviously it is the Walt Disney Corporation, so they're really just gonna fucking shiv you and leave you for dead if they can, get that kind of deal going. They keep, and I'm sure that voice actors, just given, again, how voice actors are treated in every other way, I'm sure that, like, Josh Gad does not get royalties for Olaf dolls, which is, of course, absurd, but I'm sure Josh Gad does not get royalties for Olaf dolls, or the fucking designers of Olaf, like the character animators of Olaf. I'm sure they don't get royalties for Olaf dolls. So maybe Santino Fontana makes a little Spotify money when you stream Love is an Open Door, but probably not as much as you might think.
Woof.
I know. It's a bummer. It's a big, big bummer.
What do you think about Rebecca's choices?
They're bad.
This episode was all about Rebecca's choices. What do you think about her emotional world that we get to see
Yeah.
when making these choices?
This-
I find that to be what keeps me watching the show. Is you're like, there's something endearing about the way you make such terrible decisions. And
all the
isn't
time.
that the song of
I'm gonna have to bleep that out. I've decided we're not doing spoilers on this podcast, so I have to keep like putting in inserts every time. I forgot to tell you that. So I'm gonna bleep out
that the song of having a mental illness that will be explored throughout the series.
Thank you. That's a clean take. That's a usable clean take. Yes, exactly.
Fuck shitballs. Fuck.
This is, in my opinion, the beginning of a thread that we will continue to follow and come back to on this show of Rebecca, like, making implosively bad decisions that you and the audience are like, no, jeez, no, why? Oh my god. But it's such good, like, TV. It's there's one coming up later this season that was, like, the first time you and I watched it was harrowing. We were both, like, curled in a ball on your couch in your parents' home. It was like...
Damn, I don't remember this.
Oh, boy, you will. It'll come flooding back. And it just absolutely, like, Rebecca is so compelling in how terrible her decisions are, like, over and over again. Especially across the first 3 seasons, right? And I think this show is actually really good at, like, building these disparate plot threads. Like, you don't expect, you know, her various decisions to, like, continue to come back and to continue to have ramifications, but they're absolutely going to. And I love that, because TV is so much about, like, oh, here's the thing of the week, and then we don't talk about that ever again. But this show has such a long memory for shit like this, and it's really, like, impressive the polls they will make, like, seasons from now, you know?
I got lost in the void for a moment there.
Have fun. Welcome back from the void.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't say anything of import. I just said the same thing over and over again, essentially.
Yeah, I got signed out, and now it's asking me to log into Avid, which I don't even own.
You're getting captured again.
Cool. I'm getting recaptured and recaptured and recaptured. Yes.
Stuck in an endless void.
I really enjoy more than anything else, these 2 episodes, the introduction to Heather. And
Yes.
the way that Heather is using Rebecca as a a case study.
Yeah.
And then is like, yeah, I want to be your friend. I love that.
It's
because I think we are Heather in this show.
Absolutely. Because we are watching Rebecca Bunch from afar. And we're judging her and we're diagnosing her. And but then we just want to be her friend and we just want to help her.
They don't give her any diagnosis here either. They're like, you're taking an abnormal psychology class, but you're not actually going to give her a diagnosis here. You're just going to continue the manic, pixie, quirky, bad decision-making songstress.
They don't give her a diagnosis for seasons and seasons. Like, I think it's, like, season 3 where they, like, put a name on her and sing a whole song about it. Spoilers.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm interested in watching it this round, because now I know about where things lead. So seeing where things were planted, where I'm like, Greg was an alcoholic in the very early episodes.
Yeah.
And they started talking about Rebecca's mental health. Things that I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Now I'm like, why didn't I see that coming? I thought I was a smart viewer.
Another example of that I've seen, it occurs in the party episode and will continue, but the planting of seeds about both, like, of Rebecca's parents, right? Of Rebecca's dad.
The narcissist.
Of Rebecca's dad, who will be recast when he becomes a more...
I wondered that.
...relevant character. But Tova Feldsha, who plays Rebecca's mom, has been here since the pilot, you know? And will continue to recur throughout the entire show. And yeah, just this complete narcissist who calls her at the skate park, and talks about her terrible choices, and just not a supportive, helpful figure whatsoever. And again, the seeds that they will continue to fucking reap from are being planted this early in the show. They have so much kind of figured out already.
Yeah, I love that. And I do like seeing mental health explored through multiple different intersections, being what happens when you have a narcissistic mom and you have the pressures of perfectionism. What could that possibly lead to?
Yeah.
So I enjoy that too.
Has Audra Levine come up on the show? She's definitely been mentioned. I don't think we've seen any flashbacks or anything of her yet. But in the skate park episode, the mother mentions Audra Levine, which is sort of like Rebecca's tether. It's again just these seeds we will continue to reap from. Impressive stuff from a television show.
Where do you think the actress who plays Valencia, what do you think she was doing these 2 episodes? Do you think she had another project?
I think she is not yet booked as a regular cast member on the show. She is not yet booked in this. Her contract is not like Donna Lynn Champlin's or anybody else's contract, where they're kind of doing it on an individual appearance sort of basis. She is not a main cast member at this point, so she's honestly not in that much of this season. She only appears a few times. She obviously makes a big impression. She's already had a big song. It's possible she was working on something else. I guess I could attempt to look that up. But I just know that she was never supposed to appear in every episode, I will say.
What about Daryl?
Daryl's a main cast member. Daryl appears in every episode at least some point, Daryl's around. He was at the party. He's in the law office. It's hard to not run into Daryl.
Yeah. Do they do any law? Oh, I guess they do law stuff at the principal.
Mm-hmm. We've seen some law stuff. We've seen, Rebecca, rebooking some, real estate stuff. I guess they prioritize real estate law. She was doing stuff with Valencia, law stuff. She will continue to pursue various law stuff, as we are calling it in the very technical terms, law stuff. She will continue to produce law stuff.
Yeah. I didn't remember any law stuff the last 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. The way that I had, that gave me an impression the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. It does not appear that she was working, that Gabrielle Ruiz was working on anything else at this time. Because her only credits that would have been filmed during the course of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend are not this season. It's 1 episode of Orange is the New Black, where she plays singing inmate number 2, something called the Public Access Olympics. And who knows what that means. A show called Alone Together. No, yeah, I guess it was just we at this point are not planning on having Valencia around all the time. And she's not. So there you go. She currently voices someone named Rio on Spidey and His Amazing Friends, the cartoon television series about Spider-Man and various other Spider-Men.
His friends are only other Spider-Men.
It's
Men of Spiders.
It's I see here it's Miles and Gwen and Spidey Bot. So it's really just hey, can we make Spider-Verse the TV show? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, but we're gonna get close. Okay, we're gonna get as close as we can without you guys coming after us, So good for them.
Have you asked them yet at Sony or have you asked them if they're making me a second Spider-Verse?
They are. It's coming out this year.
Okay.
They're making at least 2 more, because this one is called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. So there's definitely another one coming out. Don't you worry. There's going to be 3 at least.
Yeah, thanks for putting in a good word, because that is my favorite movie. Period. So
end of sentence. Favorite movie, and
I've decided, or I've decided to be more out, just really lean into my identity and say I'm out as bi-coastal, and I'm out as that being my favorite movie, and I don't need to say anything more. Wow. I'll have to justify it. It just is. It was Juno for a long time, and I can confidently say it's Spider-Verse now.
It's Spider-Verse now, and you're a Spider-Verse sort of person, and at least you know that about yourself. You know, it's about self-actualization. To thine own self be true.
I don't have to know everything about fucking Spider-Man for it to be my favorite movie.
No.
I don't have to know shit.
You don't.
I can just be like, I enjoyed that more than any other movie I've ever seen.
The movie has to speak for itself. It's helpful to not know anything about Spider-Man, because the movie should do a good enough job of introducing everything to you that you don't need to read 60 years of Spider-Man comics to appreciate that movie. You get it. You get it.
I can't wait to see a pandemic-informed Spider-Verse animated film.
Yeah, where they're all wearing masks.
Hey!
No one else joined me.
We got through a whole pandemic to make that joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not over, baby.
Good joke, Kevin. All right. Excellent. Anything else to say about this one? We talked about the musical numbers. We talked about Rebecca's terrible choices. Then this is where that theme really begins, and it will come back, and it will be upsetting, and you in the audience will go, oh no, oh god. It'll be great.
So let's rank them.
Oh yes, let's rank the musical numbers, because that is something that we do. Now I gotta share my screen.
Do we have to unanimously decide that?
We do have to come to
for
some
me
sort
is
of consensus, but we don't have to decide on what I believe. Okay, it's about we're working.
But I think we can. I think we can like add like stake value, or like, you know, like you're like,
all right,
all my chips are in.
I'll give you this one, but next time you're gonna owe me. Because we have nobody to break the tie. So the first song on the docket is Face Your Fears. Where, given what we're looking at, I think I would put it at number 3?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Between Sexy Getting Ready and West Covina. I like number 3.
West Covina is more iconic than this one.
It's obviously the first song. It's obviously the title song, but I do just like this number more overall. I find it more lyrical. I find it an easier listen. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Sure.
Great. So that's a big spanking 3 for Face Your Fears. Next is I Have Friends. I Have Friends, which is a fun one. It's a very, like, kind of in-your-face song, sort of musically. It's really like a get in, do your jokes, get out kind of song. What are you feeling for this one?
I remember the melody, and I remember feeling uncomfortable about other choices, and that's all I remember, so I would make it number 5.
So above I'm So Good at Yoga.
I think everything, from what I can remember, will probably be above I'm So Good at Yoga.
Okay, interesting. Bold take. I can't
for a while
disagree with you off the top of my head. So, okay, number 5. I Have Friends. I love early rankings. They're so easy. This will become hellish later on, but this is so nice. And then, of course, a boy band made up of 4 Joshes. What are we feeling for this one?
I enjoyed it. I don't remember the melody.
I don't wanna kiss all your worries and troubles goodbye. I don't wanna say, 'cause you made me cry. It's not just a boy band made up of 4 Joshes. We're actually a team of mental health professionals.
That was really pretty.
Thank you. I'm a soprano.
I still didn't remember it, though. But I remember the dancing.
Pretty, but not helpful. Pretty, but not helpful, which is how I've been described many times. Boy band made up of 4 Josh is... I would go maybe new number 4. I could...
Yeah.
Okay, great. Above West Covina. A boy band made up of 4 Joshes. Perfect. Now the next episode, Sex with a Stranger. I'll be honest, this one does not rank particularly highly for me.
It does for me because of its reference.
Yeah, if you get the reference on some of these, that'll go a long way, because you're like, don't you see what they're doing? It's brilliant.
I think it imprinted on me the same way that Settle for Me imprinted for you.
Absolutely. And we will have a fight about that in just a few short minutes. So where would you put this song?
Probably below Face Your Fears.
Can we zoom in? Will that be helpful? Face Your Fears?
Yeah.
Below Face Your Fears, above A Boy Band Made Up of Four Joshuas?
Yeah.
I would honestly put it at like 6. So if we average 4 and 6,
below, I think below West Covina is fine because I do think West Covina is lower than it probably should be.
Okay, I love getting into the contentious rankings already. Well, I was gonna say that this average would be number 5, which would be above West Covina, but you want it to go below?
Yeah.
Okay. Sex with a Stranger. Great, and now we come to Settle for Me. And if I'm being honest, so far on the show, it would be my number 1. I'm not going to force you to put it there, but that is just me being honest about which of these I'm listening to over and over again, which of these I'm singing to myself, singing to you, my friend Kat, when we hang out at your place. I'm just being honest.
I like...
Again, the song of my soul, the song of my people, the average men.
Well, the song of my people is obviously Feeling Kind of Naughty and Sexy Getting Ready. I love a sexy, slutty song.
Of course.
So it's definitely... I'll give you 2.
2?
But I am acknowledging that Feeling Kind of Naughty isn't like better than every song we're ever going to hear on this show.
No, absolutely not. There's some absolute bangers. The show essentially has bangers constantly for the rest of its duration.
I just can't in good conscience say Settle for Me is number 1 out of these.
I understand.
But
3,
I'll give you 2.
Okay. I can honestly do 3 because I can see that this is painful for you. Now, where is my cursor? What happened to the cursor? There it is. I can do number 3, Settle for Me. That's fine. Under Sexy Getting Ready song, honestly, we could all be so lucky as to be placed directly under the Sexy Getting Ready song. And that's it.
So now that you're saying between Feeling Kind of Naughty and Sexy Getting Ready song, I can't distinguish them by memory. So now I feel...
Sorry. Sorry.
No, I know. I just feel a little like...
They are very similar. There's a vibe there.
My memory is not what it was.
No, they are very, like... They have a similar tonality, certainly. I absolutely have a similar sort of subject matter and choreography. It makes sense. Why those are sort of getting conflated in your mind.
Yeah.
Hubba bubba. Okay, great. So that is our rankings for the week, which brings us now to everyone's favorite part of the show, a little thing called plugs. Kat, anything you want the people to know about or places that you want them to follow you?
Sure. You can find me at Kat Scott Online for now. Not for now. Kat Scott Online. That's where you can find me for now on Instagram. Currently not on private anymore, as I am no longer a school teacher for now. Oh my god, my cat just yawned. And you can also find me on Grindr sometimes, or Lex if you're in the NYC area. And turn on the trans filter. My voice has been cracking because I'm on testosterone. I'm about to hit 11 months. I think that's something to celebrate and plug.
Absolutely.
And woo! I am breaking out so much because I just upped my dose. And also I'm getting these really fun mid-pubescent voice cracks all the time, which is a fun place to podcast from. Also, I have some archival fun old projects on Spotify called Show Tune Sunday with Kat Scott, and you can find some of my old stuff with TV's Kevin Lanigan in there. And other friends talking about dumb stuff. And Yeah, you can try to find me on YouTube. I have a lot of weird stuff up there that no one has watched. And yeah, I'm in grad school. I'm tired. Those are most of my things. I'm trying to start a Club Penguin for gays as my thesis. So I will keep you updated how that goes.
Excellent. We love that. Wasn't Club Penguin the Club Penguin for gays?
Well, now I gotta throw my thesis out.
Sorry. Start over. Square one. Welcome back to Square One. Our podcast about starting over. And I am, of course, TV's Kevin Lanigan. You can get episodes of this show 1 week early at patreon.com/TV's Kevin. You got a bunch of bonus podcast shit over there. There's some shows that only exist behind that paywall. A show Kat and I used to do called Hamel Minute. Archives of old podcasts that I'm not putting up anywhere else. They live there now. That's their home. You can find that over there. And, of course, Advanced Media Studies, which I'm sure has brought many of you who are listening now over here, where at the time this is uploading, we're probably about getting done with Mythic Quest and are about to start reading the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book series, which will be a fun rest of my year, essentially. And rock and roll all night and part of every day. And that is what we're looking at. I also have film and video projects in various stages of development, but those take a long time to do. not getting that immediate Skinner box dopamine hit of a podcast. Love to hit publish.
How much time does it take, Kevin?
Months to years. Months to years. And that's if you're doing it professionally. If you're doing it independently, oh Christ, oh God, you'll never get anything done. And that's great. We'll be back next week as we get more all-time iconic songs from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We get more of our beloved supporting cast getting introduced. And we celebrate some of our first holidays. But
next week or next month?
Next month, I meant to say. I'm so used to saying weekly. Next month, the month of June, the month of lovers. So for all you lovers out there, gather around the podcast speaker and enjoy the little. Gather around the Bluetooth. Gather around the Alexa.
I hope now that it's June that I'm getting laid. As this is.
I hope that
going out
too.
Into the ether. I hope right now, as I exist, I am getting laid in June.
This is May's episode, so you have another episode to hope for getting laid.
I hope,
and I hope
here
that for
in the
you
lusty
too.
month of May that I'm getting laid.
Yeah, you know what they say: April
That's
showers.
From Camelot.
Bring Mayflowers.
And Mayflowers is a metaphor.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You've looked at the paintings of Georgia O'Keeffe, you understand. And until then, won't you settle for subscribing to this podcast?
Thanks, guys.
I have friends. I definitely have friends.
I certainly have friends. And it's you listeners.
Friendly friends. Enter a parasocial relationship with me, listeners. I invite you to. Pretend that I am
No
your
one
friend.
gets me like you guys.
No. You understand me in ways that I never thought possible, and I, you, vice versa, in return. And please send me many gifts to a P.O. box that I have not set up. Please, get mad at me when I don't respond to your tweets. Just all the Sanders stuff. I would love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Microdose canceling us. Thank you.
Thank you. Please cancel me. Please. Thank you. Again, if you are looking to assassinate me, now is the time.
When we're together, I feel so grand. My heart goes tippity tap 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 when I hold your hand. But I know there's another guy you fancy more. So, even though I'm not the one you adore, why not settle for me? Darling, just settle for me. I think you'll have to agree, we make quite a pair. I know I'm only second place in this game. But like 2% milk or seitan beef, I almost taste the same. So won't you settle for me? Come on and settle for me. Say yes or no before I choke on all this swallowed pride. I have no problem being picked out from the bottom. If he's your broken condom, I'm plan B. So lower those expectations and settle for me. Am I okay with this? Totally.
Oh, sweet account.
Settle for me. Baby cakes, just settle for me. Schmoopy pie, I'm begging you, please. Can't you see the light? Sugar jugs, I'm so bereft. Demeaning terms are all that I have left of my masculinity. So settle for me.
So twirly.
Little girl, don't make me feel like a little girl. Exposed and raw, whose boobs can't even fill a training bra. Let's pretend I didn't say that. Settle for me.
It's a practical proposal.
Settle for me.
It makes a certain sense.
He's a fantasy, but hey, let's think this through. Yes, Josh is a dream, but I'm right here in flesh and blood and self-hate. Settle for me in a sad way, darling, it's fate. So launch to Beyonce, not asking to be your fiance. But if tonight or tomorrow, if you happen to be free, maybe, just maybe, settle for me.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.